You hitting record?
All right, I did. We are here, episode 2 of Collectin and Connectin podcast.
Boom.
Here with the crew, Treaticus, King Brett, and we have a special guest. We've been talking a bunch about the content curation and how Series 4 is so fire. We have the Content Curation Lead, Austin Kent, right here, buddy. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. No, it's just it's fun being able to hang out with you guys. You know, it's the second time, so I just feel privileged that I get to do it again. Must have done something right the first time to be able to
hell
be
yeah.
back with you
Had
guys.
to bring you back.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, Series 4 has been so fire. We love it so much, and we could definitely see you and your team's fingerprints all over it. We'll definitely dig into that like we did last time, but just happy to have you here. We got a lot happening in the community, TopShot, Collectin and Connectin, and just wanted to connect with you and hang out for a little bit. What's been going on in the TopShot world? What can you tell us?
You know, it's kind of two things. There's two fronts that we're dealing with. One, trying to make sure these playoffs were as great as possible. The whole team, team wide, obviously there's been lots of kind of experiments, changes in how things are being distributed. So that's just a really exciting part to be involved in. But from my perspective, just trying to do these playoffs justice. We've got a couple of years of tradition now, with our final sets, making sure that that's on point. This was kind of the shortest finals that we've had. So that was a bit different. Like you don't have those six games full of, competitive, content to pull from. So just working on that, making sure these playoff, the common, the final stage of the redemption set, it's a whole new beast for us, so that took up a lot of our sort of our mental bandwidth, one of the things that we're trying to balance. And of course, planning long-term for the future,
Nice.
As far out as you can imagine, we're already having conversations about, whole team is, but content specifically, as well as the wider team. So been busy, but definitely wanted to do these playoffs justice.
Yeah, we haven't got a chance to talk to you since Champions Path and the Redemptions came out. I know Treaticus was fired up, and we all were very participatory. Treaticus, what did you think about the Redemptions and this year's playoffs?
Well, man, I think I'm
not.
I don't
birds.
Bet. Yeah, birds. I got a lot of birds.
Can you translate?
No, I don't bet on games, right? But it feels similar to what my friends say about when they have money on games, because I bought up Celtics and I bought up Grizzlies so that if either one of them made a run, I was good to go. So having that kind of investment in my teams while watching the games, hoping they, make a run and my redemption collectibles would be worth more, right, as they became more and more scarce as the playoffs went on. So it felt like that, right? It felt like I had a little more invested in my teams. And I'm sure if I'm not good at flipping moments and trying to make money like that, but I'm sure the people that were playing that game had a blast, had a lot of ups and downs, like I had some Jimmy Butlers I ripped out of packs and I sold for $1, and so the folks that were playing that game, I'm sure were probably even more invested. That piece of it was definitely a whole new experience on TopShot for me, and more than just like the challenges in the past where you're trying to maybe have a player that might get the most rebounds. The thing I liked about it the most is my team. It was all about my team. Yeah. We had two superstars and then a role player, wild card. So the team aspect, right? Being able to just really invest in my team, the moments I want, and then finding out that one of the moments I think is going to go down in history is one of a Celtics historical moment.
So before we get down the Celtics rabbit hole, you bring up the gambling aspect. So for those of us that didn't have a team in the fight, my Mavs did make the playoffs. Then we're speculating and watching from the outside, maybe able to pick a team or two and ride them to the championship. But it was multifaceted. I thought it was very cool the way that you guys designed that, Austin, that if you were a collector of one specific team, you could ride a team like Treaticus was doing. Or if you were a collector and looking at it as a big picture of, man, I need to get all of these playoff moments because this is the first time this is ever happening, and looking at it in that way. Like I said, the speculation side, there was so many different ways to be involved. Yeah. It was just a really cool design on y'all's part.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. It's just awesome to hear that feedback, because just getting new fun ways for people to be engaged is obviously the key, and you're making, such good points. Like anything that we can do to just give people that sense of like empowerment. Like, I mean, if I draft a guy on my fantasy basketball team, even if it's like a league for bragging rights only, like I'm like invested emotionally, like, even when there's nothing on the line other than bragging rights. So
you're up late watching West Coast basketball just because you have that guy on your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, one more point.
Yeah. Just, to be able to really kind of start dipping our toes into that element of, the fan experience, have it sort of be like kind of organically represented in the product is really cool. It's just exciting to see that a lot of brains, a lot of thought, a lot of planning went into that. And I think how it ended up, it was really fun for like a first sort of test of what this, one of these new tools in our work belt, heading forward can be.
When we
go ahead, King Brett. Sorry, bro.
No, it's all good, Treat. It's cool because I remember the first time we were kind of talking about this and talking about being it tied for the first time ever to collectors and putting it in collectors' hands. Yeah. And I remember you saying that. I'm like, well, we'll see. Like, we're going to see how it plays off, because it was the unknown. No one knew what was really going to happen. And I can't tell you, like, watching, not that I'm on, like, the marketplace all day long, just like, 22 hours a day. Yeah. But like seeing literally the moment a team has a loss in game 2, like moments are changing. People are turning stuff in.
Third quarter, middle of the game, you'd see it shift.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. And it's crazy. I bring it up because it's the first time I felt like, dude, the collectors are making all these moves and it's in our hands. And it was just so cool to see and be a part of. It really gets us excited for what's happening in S5. Which we don't have to get into yet.
Speaking of long-term planning.
Before we get there, King Brett, you mentioned the unknown of redemptions and that part in the champions path. Even series to series, you didn't know who was going to hold those tokens, if they were going to redeem them. Like, you had no idea that mechanic. And there was so much talk in all of our groups and communities of like trying to figure out what was going to happen. It was the first time in a long time I thought there was a ton of unknown, and people were trying to speculate and guess and plan ahead. It was really cool, Austin. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, it was neat to see how people kind of reacted to it. Like, we wondered, like, were more people going to sit on the sort of blank redemptions and just try to keep them as collectibles, like, and just to see like just that change from series to series, from the kind of quality of the moment that you're like you mentioned the Eric White. We had a couple of kind of instant classics. Yeah, and you would see that sort of redemption, the number redeemed, obviously you kind of spiked for those. So just like, it was just one of those things that was just like, hey, these are the parameters for this new experiment. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Like, let's just do it and see what happens. Like, we can learn from it. Like, I didn't even know, like, we have the play policy now. So, we can sort of dip our toes into the product as collectors. And so like, I was ripping packs, I really got into those packs. And so I was trying to decide, like, do I want to redeem this moment, and some I held on to them. I don't even know why. Like, I was just kind of trying to do everything.
I understand that.
So anyway, just a bold new frontier and fun, and
there were decisions to be made, and it was wild just to see LeBron and Steph collectors, because I mean, two non-favorites to win the whole thing that people just started collecting, and the prices spiked early on both of those. A couple others as well, but more because they were favorites to win it all. But they jumped on LeBron and Steph.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you think about how crazy that situation is, the fact that we had LeBron versus Steph in the playoffs, both as like reigning like underdog upsets, like 6-7s battling in the second round, like what a weird but awesome, just gift that was.
Yeah,
It's a great playoff experience this year. I thought, just watching from an outside a fan of any team that was in it, it was great just to watch. A lot of exciting things, series, as well as what we did on Top Shot.
Yeah. And it felt like too all the talk about scarcity, gamification versus collect, all those things, buzzwords that come up in the Top Shot world.
Sorry, that was a big jug of water. If you're watching this, I'm drinking a small glass, and he picks up one twice the size of his head, Austin. I know you're Superman, but wow.
Great.
You got to get that water in, right?
Yeah.
But you feel like that was a nice blend of all of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are more into the gamification, some people are more into just the collecting, and then the scarcity piece. Like you go into this game knowing the scarcity. You've got a collection strategy, but you've also got this game that's going to play out. I mean, I thought, and that's been one of the things, right? How do you balance all those? Hey, Top Shot, how do you balance this? Seems like you figured that out. Like that's a cool balance of a fun game that had all the things that we've been asking for as collectors. So props to you guys for figuring that out.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It was definitely fun and interesting to see. Just like if you look at the Nuggets moments, obviously went on to win the title, but I just remember the talk about this. I don't even know what ended up being the bottleneck of the set, but I remember at one point people were talking about the Jokic. If that first round Jokic would end up being the bottleneck of the set, and then you're thinking, okay, well, you can kind of get rewarded if you stand pat on your moment,
right,
because it's now becoming more scarce. Or if you so choose and you want to turn that moment into something else because you'd rather have something that you consider more collectible, you kind of can. So in some ways, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure too, right?
It really is.
Right.
That's good. I look forward to more of that. It's a great job.
I like to say it really helped Top Shot people become better people because it challenged you. No matter what your plan was, I guarantee you it changed at least 2 or 3 times throughout that whole redemption. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm sticking to this. I'm doing this. And it's like, whoa, okay, I'm out of that. I'm into this. And it was so much. It was awesome. It really was.
Yeah.
Now, we're all common collectors here and definitely going after common sets, and we'll get to those. I know some of us have dabbled into some of the higher moments, but I would love to hear you talk a little bit about the legendary drops y'all have had recently. We've seen rookie revelations, and we have some other things on the way. Just to get into that and talk to us about some of these legendary moments. It's got to be awesome.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. Obviously we had the finals. That's probably a bit of that's probably the most straightforward to get into. We had some great kind of legacy performances from Jokic and Jamal Murray, able to keep that tradition alive, get that phantom cam back into the moments, which is something we get really excited about.
Yeah, we love that.
Love that. Yeah,
kind of level them up a little bit. But otherwise, we went with the tighter set than we did in previous years because it was a more, less competitive series, only 5 games. We didn't want to just make moments just for the sake of them. And so I was happy with how that set turned out, But before that, we had the rookie revelation drop, and we also had the Top Shot 50 drop at the end of the season too. And there's upsides and downsides to dropping the legendaries kind of at the end of the season. Selfishly, I like it because it means we can get the best moments into the product, and we don't have to worry about committing to a certain play in February, and then the guy goes and out and does it.
Right.
But there's downsides to that too, right? Now you're squishing them kind of close together. So we'll continue to learn and iterate on that. But Rookie Revelation was awesome. That's a set that we talked about early in the off season about having this great kind of premium sort of vehicle for people who are really into rookies to be able to sort of just buy in on a rookie,
Yeah.
And we always knew from day one that this was going to be kind of like a wide reaching set with a significant number of players. Like we ended up on 20, right?
Yeah.
And we're just so excited about what this can mean, because so much of the sort of collecting experience is tied to rookies, right? So we wanted TopShot to be able to at least have like a premium option for any rookie that did show, glimpses or could show glimpses. We included everybody in the lottery because if we figured if you got drafted to the lottery, that's sort of at least proof that at least one front office has high hopes for your long-term future. Yeah. So to see that set come together was really cool, and I'm really excited with how it turned out, because like I've heard people just talking about like Jaden Hardy being able to, that's a player that they want to be able to hey, they watched them play. They watched them play when Luka was out and Kyrie wasn't there yet, and they just know there's something there.
We were super excited to see him included in the set.
Like that's a player who's not going to make it if we start trying to trim it down too much. So we kind of knew that from day one, that we were like, we want to have this set. Let the market dictate the value of Paolo versus Johnny Davis. Let the collectors decide, and let people kind of have that place to sort of to buy in, to plant their flag in whatever rookie that they're personally interested in. And now you have that, and next year there will be that set for this 22-23 rookie class. 10 years from now, looking back for this 22-23 rookie class, these will always exist. Like, we don't know who's going to end up being a superstar. We don't know who's going to flame out. Right. But from now and at any point in the future, there will be, like, we will never experience that thing where we'll be like, oh, darn, this guy ended up being really great. I wish we had an excellent legendary option for that player when he was a rookie. Yeah. So to be able to do that for Rookie Revelation was really compelling to us. So we kind of the curation team kind of bought into that really early, and was excited to do that. And I thought we were able to get some great, plays, the plays themselves, kind of like the best play for those players in their rookie season. And then we knew we wanted to, anytime we do legendary stuff, we kind of want to be able to add a bit more to it, and to be able to get that draft footage, which is something that we've had conversations about for a while, and we finally got to do it. We got Adam Silver in the footage. We got we're just constantly trying to cross off firsts, and to be able to now have that, there's a Paolo shaking Adam Silver's hand, and it's in our product. It was minted during his rookie season, and if Paolo becomes an all-time great, that will always be a part of the TopShot library. Which is really cool. I love the Jaden Ivey as well. So
it's a big win.
I knew you would like that one.
That picture got me, with Jalen Duren, in the background, and Jaden Ivey. So
the thumbnails, the artwork, as you mentioned, the draft footage, all of it is really impressive. I know I've seen you post about card collecting before and grew up doing that. We all three did as well, and several people in our Collectin and Connectin community. So we definitely look fondly, and I think most people do, on the rookies, and to have a premier rookie set and something that you could target somebody like that. I love it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
no doubt. I was really, I'm collecting the common rookies this season, but the excitement around people collecting that entire set, I was surprised by. I don't know that I've seen that kind of excitement around trying to collect a legendary set from so many people. Like, I know there's whales out there that are going to do that, but I mean, I've just seen so many folks just going after that set, very pumped about it across the board, kind of in TopShot, So that says a lot about how the community loves that idea. And the moments were just sick, man. Such a win getting those draft night, because that's a special time, man. Even though I never got close to getting drafted, the excitement, you can feel it. The excitement of those kids, their dream has come true. It is it's a great night.
We're all over the rookie debuts, the 4Ks. We think that's a fantastic set. Pulling those out. Our community's all over that one for sure. But it's just cool to see the legendary boys as well.
Yeah, and just being able to have something at kind of every sort of tier is really cool for us. But obviously, we wanted to do less than we did previously. In previous years, there was the Rising Stars set. There were multiple rookies in the base. They're getting their 4Ks, but they're also getting, the regular basement, whether that was, 35K or whatever in Series 2, I can't remember. So, at the end of the day, the way it sort of the dust settled is to be able to have that, that's so TopShot the rookie debut set. It's just so, what TopShot can be, how quickly we can kind of turn it around, that just general timeliness that you really can't get in other collectibles. To be able to have that, that's really cool. And the legendary set, like you mentioned, at that top tier, kind of like our rookie autos, our like logo mans or whatever you want to call from the cardboard world, just be like, hey, if you want a premium, sort of luxury way to play, that's there for you.
Yeah.
And also
we got it.
You got it. And also with the, I'm like, you might not want to mess around and complete that Revelation set, because it can get costly, right? And we also have like the rookies that appear in MGLEs. That's big to us. Is like what MGLE means to us is just kind of being able to really take things on a team by team basis. Very team centric set where every team is represented with 3 players. Previously it was 5. And if a rookie is one of those 3, like the way I kind of look at it is like, it's like the billboard that you might see outside the stadium. What 3 faces are you going to see on that billboard? You're not necessarily going to see the 3 best players like by win shares. You're going to just see the 3 kind of biggest deals. And if a rookie is one of those biggest deals on that team, it's fun to be able to get them in that set because then it's a rookie that's kind of right in the middle, not quite a legendary, but is kind of a bump up from the rookie debuts. So something for everyone. And so that was kind of really cool. I really felt this was the best year in terms of our approach to rookies. So
yeah, no doubt.
I would say now more than ever, right? Touching on that is, I think a legendary set, if you will, or a rare set, no matter what type of collector you are, they're all within reach. Like I've collected more rare sets this series than I ever have before. And it's because y'all have done such a great job with the mint counts, the releases, the publication, the moments that it makes things from like, man, can I do this to like, all right, I'm doing this. Now I'm just going to figure out a way to accomplish this. What can I sell? What can I trade? How can I like upgrade my collection to be able to afford it? And in our C&C group, the new Hustle and Show, the rookie stuff, like everything, we hear about it from all over the world. And those rookie sets, like Treaticus was saying, 3-ball, they got so much hype because they were just so great. And there's so many levels, whether you're a common, a rare, or a legendary, like you can have your rookies, which I love about it. It's really awesome.
King Brett, talk to us about the rare sets you're collecting right now. We've touched on common and legendary tiers. I think you're in the video game numbers, right?
Yeah. So that's one I accidentally walked myself into because I pulled Luca in a pack. Who's not only my favorite player, but it's like, okay, what, like, to me, the VGN video game numbers is what I've wanted every TopShot moment to be. But you can't do that. Like, there's not those performances every single game. So I love that it's something special, and the players highlighted in it are just amazing. So video game numbers, I've been a big Throwdown fan. My 3-ball buddy there got me into it originally, and I love the Throwdowns. They're such great transitions, and again, it's players that I love stuff that aren't just the big names, right? Because you start collecting a set, and you're like, damn, I didn't even know who this guy was, and look at this. Like, you're excited, right? And that's why we got into collect. It's because you love to get excited about the moments. You love to get excited about like what's going on, right? I'm also in for the win. I'm halfway through that set. That's another set. Like, man, okay, I kept like getting a couple moments in packs and stuff, and I'm like,
King Brad over here.
4, now I got 5. All right, well, what if I do this? But right now, VGN, that's the one I'm closest to finishing. I only need, I think, one more, which is LeBron James. So working on some ways to obtain him. But Throwdowns has to be one of my other favorite rare sets that I know several of us in C&C have been collecting too.
Yeah,
King Brett's you're gonna have to do a dang spin-off with your whales. You're gonna have to get out of here. You have to have your own show now that you're a whale. You, Ariel, and some of those big timers.
I just said we were common collectors, and you're just dropping all these
that's the deal. Like, let's talk about it for a second, guys. That's what, like, TopShot's insane. I don't understand people that are like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's got an opinion, just like they have a butthole. They're all entitled to it.
Okay.
Sorry, bleep it out. But, like,
right.
dude, it's not like I was like, oh, I have to collect this set right away. I may have, like, certain moments. But then there's so much. If you get involved, if you choose to get involved in TopShot now, it's the best. I think it's one of the best times. You're getting rewarded for collecting, and that's how I have a lot of these rares. It's not that I was purchasing them. I opened a pack, and I was one of those lucky people that's like, holy crap, I just got this moment. I was like flipping out, right? And then
you let the pack dictate your collection.
Pack gods lead you. They will lead you
sense.
in the collecting directing. Trust
the
pack gods. I love that.
That's right.
Austin, I thought video game numbers was unreal because dynamic duos came out at the beginning of S4. We saw the reel for the first time and got all excited, and then y'all started dropping those, and man, we could not stop talking about them. I think video game numbers is really cool. Brett obviously mentioned the Throwdowns. That's my first rare set that I'm collecting. I'm in the middle of that one currently. Treaticus, what do you got going on? You're collecting something big right now.
Yeah, man. I'm chasing the Run It Back 86, 87.
Ooh, good year.
I'm so pumped about it. It's it was the peak of my fandom. Was that those players? I had their posters, I had their cards, I had loved it. So for me, it's one of those things. This is what this Series 4 for me has been all about grails. I mean, in Series 4, I picked up the best front line in the history of the NBA. Right? I got them in my collection.
Dallas Mavericks.
Right? All their TSDs. I got a Jaw rookie. I picked up what else did I recently? What was my Eastern Conference Finals in the bubble. A set that when I first started collecting on TopShot, I thought I'll never have that. I'll never own that. And for me, that's a really important set because I mean, I was depressed, man. I was struggling. I'm not gonna lie. And that bubble, those bubble games, and that those playoffs and finals, I mean, it's just an escape from a lot of crap going on, right? So all of that, this just to have that in my collection now, and so this is kind of the finish line for me in as far as Series 4. I got to get this 86, 87 done, and I'm more than halfway there. So I love it.
For us hoop heads who were definitely, everyone is going through tough times during 2020 and 2021, but those of us that stuck with NBA and were watching all these games in the bubble, like it's just going to be such a memory and just a time capsule for us to be able to travel back to all the time. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember even saying it and thinking it and hearing it at the time, like people saying like, it's going to be weird looking back and seeing these bubble moments. And at that time, like TopShot, it was the only thing on TopShot.
Yeah.
So, like it didn't feel weird, but like even now that we're like kind of 3 years out, you like look back and there's the bubble from Orlando, and then there's even just the when they were back in their stadiums, but there were no fans.
No fans, yeah.
You got cars
transition bubble
baseline, like that Dame game winner from Series 2, like against the Bulls, and he's like falling out of bounds. There's like an Acura just like right there. I'm like, what is this? Like, what am I watching? What a weird time in sports and life in general. And so to be able to that's kind of like a use case of proof of concept of what TopShot can be, just a sort of catalog that you might not know its history when it's happening, but like history happens right in front of us and we're all watching it, and you know, it's kind of cool to, as a collector, to be like, hey, like that, I just saw a thing tonight, and you know, right now it's a thing that happened, but 5 years from now we might look at that like it's this kind of historical moment. Like, so it's kind of cool to be able to do that as
it's amazing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's how we feel about a lot of this, for sure. We talk about that and try to zoom out all the time and say, man, when we look back in 5 years, this is all going to be pretty crazy.
It is. It really is.
Before we let you go, Austin, this has been great having you on here. But what ahas or revelations, if you will, have you guys had from S4? You know, going forward, maybe to go into S5. What are you thinking?
Oh gosh,
big question.
That is a big
legally and non-legally share.
We don't want to get you in trouble.
No, it's a good point. It's a great question. You know, I think at least from the curation perspective, I mean, I think in terms of the TopShot, you know, greater sort of ecosystem infrastructure, the team learned a lot, you know, and are just looking really eager to kind of have this reset, you know.
Yeah. But
that's like not really, that's like not my lane. From my lane, which is just specifically with the curation, you know, we've, you know, I wasn't involved in Series 1. Series 2, I kind of came in halfway through it. Series 3 was my first real season where I was there from beginning to end, and Series 4 was my second full season and like Brandon's first full season. And so every off season that we've kind of had ahead of the series, we've done more, and we've kind of learned what worked and what didn't work. And so going into Series 4, at least in terms of the type of sets that we wanted, I feel like we were really able to be very articulate and specific about that, you know. And I find that helps so much. Like, I mean, you guys just talked about a bunch of them, like being able to have a place for those big performances. Boom, it's video game numbers. It's compelling. It's reels. It's very obvious what stuff goes there. Yeah. Game winner. It's very obvious what goes into for the win. It's very obvious what goes into throwdowns. You know, unless something is so good that it sort of gets like plucked into TopShot 50.
Right.
Like you just have these very clearly defined lanes where the content goes. And I feel like now when you get to the end of the season and you look back, if you look back at for the win, obviously, you know, they're very clearly, you know, game-winning shots or game-winning defensive plays. But if you look at throwdowns, it's literally like you're watching like a playlist of the dunks of the year, right? Like, and anytime the NBA releases like a top 100 plays of the year, like I'm always kind of checking, well, what do we get in product? And I think in NBA's top 100, like we're above like 70% or something like that.
That's great to see, though, right?
Yeah, right. It's so being able to have those really clearly defined buckets, and what we probably the biggest thing we learned is, hey, you know, for TopShot 50, we're going to be working with the players themselves. We're going to have the community vote on the plays, so there'll be no shadow of a doubt that it's the play from that player for that season. Yeah, and so the result is you got TopShot 50 is like it's probably the most stacked set in the history of TopShot, because it's just so. That's what happens when you wait until April. And then just boom, here's all that best shit we've been holding back, and we're ready to drop it all on at once. Like, so you've got this incredible set, but there are downsides to backloading all that stuff. So we're not done yet. We figured out how to kind of perfect the curation, but now how do we perfect the curation in a way that's healthiest for the distribution? There's just always things that kind of these will be the lessons that get sort of, you know, built into the S5 plans. I feel like this year the biggest takeaway is like having those clearly defined buckets, not leaving things up to like subjectivity. Like when we have sets like a Cool Cat set, for example, game recognized game, for example, it's like you've got moments that are like, shouldn't this be an MGLE? Oh no, it's not an MGLE. It's in this other set. What's the theme of that set? Like, there isn't really a theme. It's just good basketball plays. Like, the theme can't be good basketball plays. The theme has to be a bit more specific than that. So we're getting better. We're getting better. And I feel like that's what made Series 4's content really, really kind of – I'm really impressed with it. So,
yeah. I tell you, I feel like you're a team. As a team, it seems like you guys are starting to really click. You know, it's like we've all seen our NBA teams go through this, right? You kind of go through a rebuild, and it takes a little bit of time. for everybody to figure out, how to play together.
Mhm.
And then you get in a rhythm and you get some momentum and you start to dominate. And I
Getting
really,
buckets.
yeah, I feel that from your team. Like I just feel this momentum growing as you guys are like, okay, this is the lane, let's go, and it's really exciting to see. I think you've got a community that feels that and is behind you too.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys feel the encouragement and Uncle Mo is on our side, as they say.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing seeing the communities, that have popped up. You guys are obviously such a huge, reason for that to be the case. And I always see it. I'm always on Twitter. I see everything. So I always,
I see everything.
I love it. No, I love it. It's just fun to sort of get those, those reminders that like these days, a lot of the collectors that are Top Shot collectors are here because they're basketball fans and they just want to enjoy the sort of stories that I kind of want to be involved in telling. And so I just feel very aligned. And no, I'm feeling good. The team's tight. The team is like aligned. Like it's a great analogy to sort of a rebuild of a professional sports team. But the personnel we've got and the positions that we've got, it's nice. We've got people who are here for the right reasons and are just coming with really cool, creative ideas. And, we're all kind of pulling in the same direction, for the most part. So
you can tell. It's
you.
nice to see.
Awesome. Well, Austin, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for joining us. Treaticus King Brett, man, this is great having him here. I love when we get to I'm so lucky that he's here to talk ball with us. This is great.
Love it.
And he has some facial hair too. It's looking good. The whole group's got some growth. I love it.
We have to match the hat and the stubble. And let's go.
It's nice.
I mean, I was trying not to bring up the awesome Top Shot hat and the Dapper Lab shirt. It's wonderful.
Got the gear going.
I know it. It's woo.
Love it.
Man, seeing so much love. We're seeing announcements left and right, and just I know you're busy. Thank you so much for your time. This was great having you today here on the Collectin and Connectin podcast. Appreciate you being here, bud.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Anytime you want, just let me know.
We'll keep doing it.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. Let's do it again.